Hey guys, Romie here. So, please like, comment, subscribe. We are back with How to Get Away with Murder Season 3, Episode 10. We're bad people. The episode starts off with, this weird dream sequence. Annalise is still in jail, and she's dreaming, and she's thinking about, I guess, a time when, throughout the whole episode, we kept seeing Wes interact with all of the main characters and have their own little subplots with him. So it's Annalise's turn, and this is where he's with Maggie. Annalise hasn't formally met Maggie yet, but Wes and Maggie were playing soccer, and Annalise was remembering when Wes was a kid and how when she remembered Wes playing soccer as well. So now it's him playing with Maggie. And so then the ball goes over to Annalise, and Wes starts to talk to her, and Wes talks about how he got this internship, and it was, an internship with trying to help with undocumented immigrants, just like his mom. So that made a lot of sense, and Annalise is in her head, and she's looking at Maggie, and it's like, well, maybe you should introduce me. And Wes like, well, that's kind of weird because you're my professor. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I was like, oh, poor Annalise. So, she tells him congratulations. He goes back to play soccer. She's woken up to learn that not only is she still in jail, she doesn't have bail. Now she's going to be moved out to county. So now they have to go and take off her regular clothes. I'm thinking, Lord, if they take off that wig, but no, they let her keep the wig. They switched her out, so of course they had to check the hair, check her mouth, check everything, and Annalise just looks done and over it. While this is going on, the coroner is examining Wes's body, and they took out the heart, they took skin samples, they did everything. So Wes is dead. This isn't a joke. Wes is dead. Because I know some people were thinking, maybe Wes really isn't dead. Maybe this was some plot line. Annalise is now in prison, and she has two bunkmates. One who's a lot younger, who clearly is going to try and go and make her feel uncomfortable. Not try to make her feel uncomfortable, like scared, but just try and mess with her because she's a new person in. The older one's like, now you need to stop it. Let her go and sit down, do whatever she needs to do, but you need to stop it. Bonnie, on the other hand, is trying to talk to Laurel, and Laurel is in so much pain. She's in so much pain, and she wants Bonnie to go because Bonnie's trying to say, okay, so what do you remember? Like, what's going on? The cops are going to come in soon. Laurel said, look, I'm going to tell them everything. I'm going to tell them anything I want to tell them. So it's either, and again, she's in so much pain, so she keeps hitting up that it's not morphine. It's like pain medications that you can take when you're pregnant. Because remember, she got burned. We don't see it, but she did get burned, so that's why she's in so much pain. And Bonnie's trying to do her whole Annalise thing. It's not working right now. So Laura said, how about this? I think it was Annalise. It could have been Annalise. It could have been Frank. I'll say whatever I want to say unless you leave now. Bonnie leaves. The rest are trying to figure out, okay, what's going on, Bonnie? Bonnie's staying tight-lipped and says, oh yeah, don't go. She needs time. The doctor says she needs some rest. And Connor's like, oh, so is it really she needs some rest, or she's saying that Annalise did it, and you don't want us to know that Annalise did it? And she's like, just go home. Here we go, have Oliver in the background looking like, you know what, I know that there's some foolery here, and Oliver wants to leave. Connor's saying, no, you should come back to Michaela's. No, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave now. So Bonnie has a conversation with Annalise and lets her know things are going fine. Laurel, she's not well, but she's okay. Bonnie also has a conversation with Frank, and it's just like, okay, Frank, no, I know, I'm going to go and help her out. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Annalise doesn't want Frank's assistance. She says, Bonnie, it has to be you. Eve can't do it, so it has to be you. I don't trust anyone else except for you. You see where I'm going with this. It has to be you. Bonnie is used to being able to go and get someone to help and just be the person in the back facilitating it. Now it's all on her. So we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, we have another flashback of Wes, and now it's Laurel. And this is where Laurel finds out that she thinks she might be pregnant. She doesn't know that she's pregnant yet, but she thinks she might be pregnant. And, Wes is joking around with her because the condom, it broke, it cracked, it tore, whatever it took. And he's making the joke about, well, it wouldn't happen if I was so big. I'm like, Wes, we don't see you like that. Please don't say certain things like that. Dude, no. But I guess it's all to facilitate how there was a happier time, that yes, this is most likely Wes's baby, and no, she didn't sleep with Frank. And because Laurel is thinking about this while she's in the hospital bed, Maggie comes in, and Maggie's just like, how are you? How are things? Do you need anything? Okay, the cops are going to come in soon, so if you need anything, just let me know. So then the cops come and they start to question Laurel, and they're questioning her with the sense of, here's what we need. We need you to say that Annalise did it. That's not what they said, but she talked about how she went to the house, she saw that the basement door was open, she went down, she heard a noise upstairs, and then next thing she knows, she wakes up, she remembers waking up being here. So that wasn't enough for them to go and have a strong case against Annalise. And Laurel, again, because she's smart, she knows what the situation is. So she's trying to stay tight-lipped, at least for now. Back at Michaela's house, Michaela's mom left town. Remember, Michaela told her mom that she can leave. This is before her mom, before the whole situation of Wes dying. So Michaela is visibly hurt by it, but she's trying to pretend like she's not. And Asher's trying to say, well, I'm sorry, maybe I can go and get her. It's like, no, it's fine. She did what she needed to do. She did what she wanted to do. It's cool. And Connor just has this look of, oh, well, you know what? Maybe she had the right idea. And I'm like, Connor, shut up. Connor, I'm giving you a couple of shots. Now, while Annalise is in jail, she doesn't want to eat. All she's doing is like sulking and sleeping. Because remember, Wes died, and I believe that Annalise didn't do it. Wes died, and she doesn't know who did it, and she's being framed for it. So she feels horrible. The last person she wanted anything to ever happen to again was Wes, and he's dead. So it's over. So the only thing they can do is find out who killed him. Back at the DA's office, we have Nate, who, of course, he's right across from his ex, or Annalise's main nemesis, and they're trying to figure out, well, Nate, why were you in contact with Annalise? What's going on? Are you at the house? That this compromises your position. You can't continue to work here. He said, oh, so does he know about us? Us? What isn't us? Who? What? Oh, okay, that's a no. Well, her and I, we were sleeping together. And because we were sleeping together, I can say that I'm being sued, that there was sexual harassment. I'm being sued, forcibly kicked out. And that's how he keeps his position there for now. Nate then goes and talks to Bonnie, and because Bonnie called him, the whole thing is, Nate's just saying how Bonnie did Annalise do it. Of course, she's saying no. Well, you can come upstairs and tell your version of the truth so that you can be covered, and this could finally be over. You can finally be on the right side. Bonnie has this look of, this is not what the call was supposed to be about. This is not what I have you here for. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? So he just decides, you know what, don't call me again, because this was a waste of my time. I thought that I could have gone through to you, but I see that Annalise's hooks are still in you. Annalise is still over it because she wants to use the bathroom at this point. Because remember, she's in a jail cell with 2 other women, and there's bars, so everyone can see when you're doing anything. There is no privacy. So right now she's not eating, because if she eats, then she has to use the bathroom. Part of the King 5 go to visit Laurel, and while that's happening, and when Annalise's younger bunkmate, which is what I'm calling it, inmate bunkmate, but she gets to go because her kids are there. So then, that gives Annalise the opportunity to actually entertain the thought of using the bathroom. And so she does it. She does it because the older woman's just like, girl, I'm not going to look at you. I'm not going to get excited about you going to the bathroom. Go. Now, while Annalise finally is able to go, her younger mate comes back and tells her, oh, well, you know, oh, look at you. You're finally going. And at this point, Annalise just has this look of, I'm embarrassed. But when the guard tells her that you also have someone, he's like, oh, okay. I can't even imagine have to be able to go in front of the bathroom, not number one, but number two, in front of everyone, every day, do basically everything in front of everyone every day. Wow. Aside from everything else, aside from also people getting beat up, because there was someone who was already beat up, and she was only there for what, maybe like a day or two. It's real. It's real. Bonnie goes to visit her to let her know that we don't have Nate. And Annalise, again, is wants reassurance that Frank isn't doing anything to help out. While Bonnie says no, Frank isn't a part of this, we see Frank going and getting information from the police because he paid some officer off for some information. I'm thinking, oh Lord, here we go. And the information was call logs. So they're going to see all the call logs and try to figure out like what type of angle, who can they pin this on. So Bonnie and Frank go and look through them together. While they're doing that, part of the King Five, so of course that's Asher, Michaela, as well as Connor right now. They're all there because they want to talk to Laurel. They find out that the police are there. She didn't say anything. What is it? Connor is just like, well, you know what, maybe she should have, because maybe it's time for us to go to jail. Because Connor has a conversation with Asher and, what did I say? Yeah, because Connor's going to have a conversation with Oliver, and that conversation includes him finding out that Oliver wiped out all of Annalise's phone history before the fire. So, well, actually getting a call to try and do something like that, well, to clean it up. It was after the fire, but it was before they found out that Wes was dead. That's what it was. And now everyone's thinking, oh, okay, suspicious. Connor's doing his usual insensitive self, and it's like, Michaela, you didn't like Wes. Like, Asher, he's a punk, so I get it. But you didn't even like Wes, so why are you doing all this to try and protect Wes? I mean, protect his feelings. I'm thinking, Connor, why are you bad-mouthing Wes? Why are you saying this is all his fault? How are you saying that this is all his fault? If it wasn't for him, none of you would be in this situation. All of you want to be a part of the King Five. This just so happens that you chose the wrong year to be a part of the King Five. You chose the wrong year to be a part of the King Five. That's all it was. This is bigger than all of you. This was something in motion a long time ago. This is not all Wes's fault. And for him to even say that irritated me to no end. So when Asher went and punched him, and then once he was on the ground, continued to punch him, I'm thinking, that's exactly, in my mind, I did the same exact thing. I said 3, 2, 1, boom! And that's exactly what Asher did. If Asher does nothing else on this show ever again, I am proud of him for finally doing something like that. And I know what happens next. Oh my god, he's an ammo. I get to... Laurel is over here borderline dying because she's in pain and Wes is dead, and she acknowledges the fact that Wes is the father. Wes is the father, everyone. Wes is the father. So that makes things 10 times worse for her with this situation. We see this dream sequence of Connor talking to Wes, and he's just talking about how he's back in therapy, and he hasn't been in therapy since he was a kid. And he was like, oh wait, so what are you talking about? You know, I'm just exposing all of you. Exposing all of us. No, yeah, I'm exposing all of you. No, I'm just talking about life in general and my relationship. And, you know, Wes was just there to be in listening ear. And I'm thinking, Wes wasn't a bad person. Like everyone else, Wes made some impulsive decisions, in the moment decisions that changed the course of his life and a lot of other people's life, but Wes wasn't bad. So I'm like, are you really mad at him? I get it. You don't have to like him or even see him as your real friend, but you're almost trying to make it, paint him out as this bad guy so that you can feel better about it. Like I said, Michaela is going and reaming Asher out and saying, go home, because I can't handle that. And the reason why I'm thinking she's saying that, because Asher, you weren't wrong. I'm here with you. But I'm thinking that Michaela's probably had to deal with a background back at home where guys, as soon as they got angry, they started to go and put their hands on people. And maybe that's why she's having those flashbacks and saying, I can't do this. I cannot do that with you. So I get it if it's coming from that standpoint. I'm still not mad at him. I'm still not mad. Go Asher. I don't think I've ever said that before. But while Bonnie and Frank are looking through the call logs, they find a call log from Sam's sister, and that's when we realize, okay, what actually happened. Oh Lord, Annalise implicated herself. When she was drunk, and we knew she was going to do something stupid when she was drunk, she called Sam's sister and said, you can have the house back, I don't want it, there's been too much drama to be in here, you win, congratulations, take it while you can, essentially. And so that's in the voicemail. That's in the voicemail. That can be used against Annalise. You know Sam's sister's going to come back out of nowhere and make this whole situation worse. So now Annalise is wondering, oh Lord, I just really just gave her the keys to my jail cell, and I know she's going to take it, swallow it, and disappear forever. We see another flashback of when Wes was still alive, and it was during the same summer. Now Wes and Michaela finally kind of had a real conversation, because they've never been alone, if you really think about it, been alone and just talked like people. Wes acknowledges the fact that, okay, he's not with Maggie anymore, and that he actually likes Laurel, and he's with Laurel. And Michaela's saying, wait, that was really fast. How are you lily-padding from one relationship to the other? That's not stable. That's not a good look. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. That's true, but he's like, no, she's not just any girl. We're like, we get it, Wes. We get it, Wes. But optics makes it look like, okay, you were feeling her. You were with Maggie because you couldn't accept the fact that you actually like this other person. Now that the other person's available again, you want to be with them. So Wes was like, excuse me, we've never talked. Why are you judging coming up on him? He said, look, you don't call me either. So anyway, what do you want? You can't get some cheaper. She's a rich girl. At the end of the day, she's nice and she treats you well, but she's a rich girl, so you can't just do whatever you want. Now, Michaela comes back because she wants to stay with Laurel, because after that whole thing happens in front of her, she's like, I had to make sure this girl isn't on suicide watch at this point. She's in a lot of pain. She's pregnant. The father of her child is dead. It's a lot to handle. A lot to handle. And she's in so much pain, but because they have to space out the drugs that they give her, especially since she's pregnant, what they're doing instead is the light will turn green, and that's when she's not green. The light will turn yellow, and that's when she's able to get a hit. So Michaela tells her about the situation with her mom and how her mom left, and she kind of kicked her mom out, and it's okay. It's like, of course it's not okay. And Laurel is just done. Laurel's just done, out for the count. Annalise is over it, and Annalise is so upset because Annalise is thinking, alright, I want to get out of here. I'm not sure if I can get out of here, but let me see what happens. Her older cellmate decides to tell her a little story. She's like, you look familiar. Yeah, you're the one, you burned that boy. And Annalise didn't say anything. It's like, interesting how things change. I remember I was in court once, and you were going at this, going at this big white guy, and I was thinking, wow, look at this beautiful black queen, so strong, so poised, so well dressed, so powerful. Why couldn't she be defending me? And it's like, regardless of how you see yourself or how you try to make yourself up, they will always bring you back down to the reality and the level that they want you to be at. I'm thinking, okay, alright, you're not wrong, but what did you do That's what I still want to know. Are you trying to say that you're in here and you didn't deserve to be in here, or at least deserve to be in here as long as you were in here? Like, what's going on with you in particular? I'm thinking, Annalise, you have a friend right now. You're going to need a friend because of what happens next. So now it's her court hearing, and it doesn't go so well. Asher shows up because, of course, he wants to support. He supports everyone. So that's the other thing, good thing about Asher. Asher is kind of like what Wes initially almost was, which was he'll go and support everyone, go and try to help everyone. And he's there. Frank comes in, and he's like, what the? Why is Frank? What? Why is Frank? Now, mind you, everyone is thinking that it was probably Frank. If it wasn't Annalise, then it had to have been Frank. And either way, the truth needs to be exposed. The truth needs to come out. While that's going on, this is when Connor and what do you call it? Connor and Oliver's like, what's wrong? Don't worry about it. You need to just go. You need to just tell the truth. Expose all of us. And it's fine. I don't care. We're not good people. So, are you going to tell me the truth about what happened with Sam? Sam, are you going to tell me what happened at the bonfire? Because if you don't, then maybe if you're not going to, maybe that means that I'll be implicated. Maybe that means I'll go to jail. I'll have to go in court, possibly go against you and all that. I'm thinking, you just figured this out? It took you to have an internship or a job around a bunch of soon-to-be lawyers to finally learn general common sense that most educated people, period. No. Oliver, you can go. You can go. And Connor, you need to chill out. You need to chill out just a little bit, okay? Okay, buddy? Just a little bit. The court proceedings are, they're not going too well because what ends up happening is Bonnie's thinking, maybe I can go and flip it. Maybe I can go and say, you know, if they want Annalise, then they're barking up the wrong tree. It was her sister. Her sister possibly could have done it because her sister would have had motive. The Mahonies would have had motive. Everyone except for Annalise would have had motive. I need you to look at it that way. The DA office says, no, see, we have evidence. We have evidence of what? We have evidence. Wes, who was one of her students, actually went and tried to sign an affidavit. He wanted because he was their witness, essentially. He was the person that they were going to use to go against Annalise, but then he died. So then that complicated the case even more, and they're like, oh, so that's all great and all, but we still need more proof. And they're like, any other information we have, we can't give up, but we're confident that due to Annalise and her history, she shouldn't be let go. She also can't receive special treatment because she's financially well off. And the judge agrees. I'm thinking, dang, Bonnie, you can't flip this? Bonnie's like, yeah, but what about the other evidence? What about saying how the Mahonies, if they could have been part of it, they could have... They said that evidence, in this case, does not compute. That would have to go to a different one. That won't work out too well. Now, everyone's seeing the fallout from the results of the case. Asher, you know, he wiggles his way back in and apologizes to Michaela. I'm thinking, oh god, but whatever. He does it. She invites him back in, and she wants him to apologize to Connor. I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Whatever. And he's just like, all right, come on, guys. I know we're all messed up. Annalise has to go back to jail because they don't have the evidence they need. Oliver is showing that he is crafty and kept a copy of Annalise's phone history on his computer, and now he has it in the USB drive. Now, Annalise is back in jail. Frank goes and visits Laurel, and Laurel's over. Laurel is awake. The meds have kicked in. She's fully functional, and she is over it. She's over it, and she's over him. Annalise looks so defeated, but her older bunkmate gives her peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It says, it's going to be alright. I'm not trying to kill you, darling. The issue was that the evidence was concluded that Wes did die from smoke inhalation, meaning that he died in the fire. He didn't die prior to. Nate's saying, I thought that he died in the fire. You told me he died in the fire. That's who he's talking to the coroner. I thought you said he died in the fire. I was wrong. I'm thinking, oh Lord, here we go with this cover-up. Frank wants to go make it right, so Frank turns himself in and says that he killed Wes. At the very end, we see that Frank did indeed go and reach out to Wes when he left the police department. He was tailing Wes the whole time, so as soon as Wes came out of the police department, Frank was right there, picked him up, and thinking, Wes, do not get in that car. He gets in the car. This is Wes we're talking about, so he gets in the car. Alright guys, please like, comment, subscribe, come back next week. Dang, man. Oh yeah, and by the way, it's not that I think that Frank did or anything. I know that Frank loves Annalise, so he'll do anything to make sure that Annalise is good, but dang it. Whoever it did, we need to find out in the next 3 episodes, at least get some more characters in if it's not one of the originals.